Hi, my name is Binitie, and I'm an under 40 exec.
The African Renaissance. The concept that the African people and nation shall overcome the current challenges confronting the continent and achieve cultural, scientific, and economic renewal is here, with young men and women taking the lead. Some call them the new school heroes. We call them under 40 CEOs.
Binitie describes himself as a software executive and entrepreneur, professional tinkerer, and geek. He has spent the last decade leading software teams to develop operator-led mobile ecosystems and platforms. His specialties include mobile discovery, social recommender systems, solving problems of skill using technology, building software teams and technology in Africa. Ehi is co-founder and chief technology officer at Rancard Solutions. Ehi, welcome to Under 40 CEOs.
Thank you.
You launched and co-founded Rancard in 2001. What were those solutions you were trying to provide at that time?
We set out Rancard with two things. First was a vision to sort of create the kind of tech company that Africa will be proud of. Africa is known for many things: wars, HIV, bad governance, etc. And it's not really known for making contributions to the world from tech. So we set out with a vision to create the kind of company that would make Africa proud. We were looking to provide tech solutions which scaled enterprises, which solved problems of scale around the world, and change fundamentally what the perception of what it meant to be African. Web was just becoming big, mobile phones were just taking off. So we thought that was an opportunity to create something meaningful in that space, helping businesses, computer rights, etc. So that's sort of where we started from.
So 2 years into the business, your initial capital had run out.
Yes.
Now, please tell me, how did you manage to navigate through those trying times?
That's a great question. So sit back now and think about it, and it seems like a complete miracle.
Yeah.
Because it was in many ways. I think the first thing was we were so firmly focused on the vision and the mission which we felt called to, that even though we hadn't quite articulated it as clearly at the time, stopping or turning back was not an option. We had great engineering skill, and we actually had people who valued our work. So we're building impressive things. We just didn't know how to make money from it. So we bootstrapped even harder. We tried to find problems which would help us get paid as quickly as we could. Borrowed from friends, family, did everything to keep the vision alive.
Now, you could have set up business anywhere on the continent. Why Ghana?
Personally, I'd been to school in tech. Ghana was an emerging economy, had a certain level of stability. My friend and business partner, Kofi Dadzi, was also Ghanaian, and I loved Ghana. It was a nice place to launch pad from. We also had a sense that, look, if you tried and failed in Ghana, it wouldn't be as visible as if you tried and failed in Nigeria, somewhere like that.
Really?
And the chances of success in Ghana were probably a little higher than they were in Nigeria.
Okay, now you attended Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology.
Yep.
I believe that's in Kumasi.
Yes.
Now, the university seems to have churned out loads of, tech people who are doing really well. What makes KNUST really special?
Resourcefulness. So you have to produce an amazing amount on very little. And it was the only engineering school in Ghana for the longest time. And so it's just the raw material going was already at an exceptionally high standard.
Wow.
And then you had to be resourceful to produce stuff. So I think it's that combination of limited slots and then the challenge of being resourceful, I think, is what shapes you into and you absolutely have to be resourceful to get through tech.
Okay, so you subsequently at some point attended Oxford University where you read software engineering. How did that experience out there shape your person and help build this business that you have today?
I think it was useful in lots of formal methods. So I think it was a fantastic experience because it brought a certain perspective to building and scaling software. So I'm a software engineer by passion. I think somewhere like 1986 or by 88, I had my first computer, a Commodore VIC-20.
Wow.
And I was programming BASIC and started from there. So I've been a passionate programmer for many years. However, there's lots of formal methods in programming which we're not quite as strong. So Oxford gave me an opportunity to strengthen my formal understanding of what it took to build software and what it took to build software at scale. It was also a great environment because it was literally a small class with the best of the best. So there was everybody in my class from Microsoft and NASA to the European Space Agency. It was a really small class of exceptional people, and that also brought something else. It gave you great relationships for life. It brought perspective. Because you walk away knowing that, hey, this guy is producing the next big thing out of Microsoft or Motorola, and he was no better than me in class. It raises the stakes for you. It helps you put in perspective what your own potential and abilities are. So I think that was a very useful time in formalizing some of the things which we'd learned almost by passion. And
okay, beautiful.
This is Under 40 CEOs.
These are your words. It's not easy to build things of any great value without a partnership. I have searched the Bible very hard and I have looked around for examples, and I am yet to find something of a meaningful size that has been built by just one individual. I think that I have been very blessed to have a great partnership with Kofi. That's Kofi Dadzi, my co-founder. Now, your business is a partnership, and I see loads of partnerships in Africa struggling, to make that partnership work, but you're making it work. So what are those key elements?
So first thing I'd like to correct, it's actually not a partnership.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
We're co-founders of the business.
Okay.
But very early on, we decided that for the business to work, one person had to be a CEO. Okay, so anything with two heads is a beast. It's very difficult to make decisions. So we decided Kofi's the more CEO type, and the more creative sort of freewheeling type. So I think we formed the great foundations of a business. So I think that's the foundations. It's understanding that the buck has to stop somewhere. And I have nominated by choice that we have first among equals. And for the purposes of this business, Kofi's the CEO, and I work with him.
So it says online that your core responsibilities include providing vision and leadership in product research, innovation, development, based on sound market insights. What's your typical day like?
So no day is typical. That's the first one. But my day starts early. I spend time in deep reflection. I think that the source of all creativity is God, and I try to spend the best part of my morning in prayer and in reflection and thinking through the things that are important. I typically would get in, drop my kids at school in the morning, get into the office by about 7:30, try and catch up on what the day needs to look like. Where are we in terms of the key metrics of the business? Where are we in terms of the things which are important to be executed that week? And then what sort of collaborations are needed to drive the agenda forward? Who needs support? Who doesn't need support? What are the problems? Where is the innovation coming from? What needs to be solved? Occasionally, I'll make some time to do a deep dive on some technology, playing around with something and tinkering and trying to figure out what makes something work. So days are not typical. That's sort of the. But what's consistent in every day? There's a heavy amount of collaboration. There's time spent reviewing and reflecting, and then there's actual time spent producing work which is meaningful in either directing the team or delivering an outcome.
This is Under 40 CEOs.
At startup of Rancard Solutions, Ehi was responsible for Rancard's rapid development framework based on J2EE called RIMS Core. He also developed the Carrier Class Warp Gateway for mobile as part of Rancard's communication application technology suite. Enterprise payroll system based on RIMS Core product for KPMG. He was also lead architect for AQ Solutions and General Electric's Gen 2 project. Rancard is already a major contender in the tech space and is a partner of choice in 24 countries today.
You've managed to build this amazing firm, Rancard, and in 2012 you were declared Software Company of the Year. You've won many other awards. What do these awards, recognitions, accolades mean to you?
Honest answer is not much. I think the benchmark of success for me is the impact you have on the lives of other people. And in spite of how far we've come, I don't think we're where we want to be in terms of our impact on the continent and in the world in general. People saying, hey, we recognize you're making progress, but I don't take it too seriously.
And progress is what you're making because you're the partner of choice in over 25 countries for world's leading tech and mobile businesses, including MTV, ESPN, BBC, Google, Voice of America, and Intel. Why do they consistently choose Rancard?
This is an interesting question because we used to like to believe that it was because we produce such amazing technology. But we find that the reasons why our customers keep coming back to us and is because of our values: excellence, integrity, and reliability. We offer one of the highest service level agreements in the world, period, which is a 5.9 reliability, 99.99997% guaranteed uptime in terms of our service delivery. And this is important if you're like Google and you run a business which spans the world and people are counting on you. So you don't want to go into your Gmail or you want to use one of the other services and discover that it's going down. I mean, we solve amazing problems for everybody. I think we solve some of the most difficult problems in the world. And if you look at what it's like to deliver a high-level service in infrastructure as challenging as ours, the engineering ingenuity which goes to delivering that is phenomenal. And to do that on the sorts of resource base we have is even more impressive. So I think it's that combination of things which always make us an exciting partner for our clients.
What are the most important things to consider when launching a business in Ghana?
I think it starts first with what value you plan to create. I think without understanding where you're creating value, you don't have a business. A building will only go as high as the foundations upon which it's built. And so the weaker your foundations, which are the people who hold up the business, the slimmer the chances of the business's success. So most important things to consider is understand what value you're providing, one. Second one would be pick and choose your team very carefully. And this is from all levels, from the governance level on the board to the members of the team who execute with you. And then the third one I'd probably say is fail fast and learn quickly.
Now you've also said, and permit me to quote you once again, our aim is to merit a listing on a highly liquid global stock exchange, such as the New York or London Stock Exchange, with counterpart listings in other African countries to reflect our African origin and heritage. Now, is this currently a short, medium, or long-term goal?
Let's say medium.
Okay.
Let's say medium. We're working very hard in this direction. I think over the last few years, we've built some amazing tech. And we're working on how we take this technology and make it available. These are exciting times. I think the technology is finally coming of age, and we're at the point where we hope, we believe, we pray, we work towards making it a global phenomenon.
Talking about building amazing technology, you've built a social networking platform called Rendezvous. Now, how is the growth on that end?
It's not exactly a social networking platform. It's a platform that uses social behavior to help people find things they would consider useful, fun, or interesting. So one of the things we do when we're looking for something is ask someone. You're looking for a plumber, you're looking for a new pair of shoes, you're looking for a doctor, etc. Now, the world we have today has a tremendous amount of data in the public domain. And what Rendezvous does is leverage this data together with your social behavior in discovering and predicting things you might want to buy. And how does someone find what they want, which is relevant, at the best price and the most interesting way from a commerce perspective. Or for a business who's looking to sell something, how do they find people who actually want to buy it? And for us, the evidence that this is an important problem to solve is that the average conversion rates on advertising are less than 3%. So 97% of all advertising misses its mark. And yet the market leader in advertising globally is the most capitalized company in the world. So just even solving that problem on a small percentage point has tremendous value unlocked across the world. Rendezvous is a platform which delivers recommendations, and it does this by looking at social behavior of people and the things they are interested in.
This is Under 40 CEOs.
Now, in 2013, you also launched a product in conjunction with Intel in Nigeria, which I found very interesting. It's called Intel Explore and, of course, Learn Marketplace. How's that doing in Nigeria?
I think it's gone through an evolution, and we're thinking through that. So the goal behind the Intel Explore and Learn Marketplace was to connect publishers of books with students. And Intel was working with Rancard. We built a software for them, and they were hoping to roll this out on Intel devices. So education is a big thing for Intel. I think the early trials were promising, and we were stuck on how we create a model which effectively monetizes the content for users. And I think it's an area we're still exploring and working through.
You raised an undisclosed sum many years ago from Intel Capital and Adlivo Capital. How would you advise young entrepreneurs, a fantastic business idea, to go about raising funds?
So the interesting thing about fundraising, I found, was that nobody gave us money until we didn't need it. Okay. So many times we think of funding as what you need to make your business successful. And what you really need to make your business successful is to build a great product which solves a useful problem and then demonstrates that people actually think it's of value. In our case, they took a look at our business and said, wow, we like the sort of returns you're making. We like your momentum. Can we give you some more money so that you multiply it for us pretty much? Shareholders and investors are not the route to an easy life. I believe that shareholders and investors are a way to accelerate a vision. And so understand what value you're creating, build a meaningful product, demonstrate the value, and then I think the rest will follow.
So please tell me, how has travel and interacting with different cultures and people added value to you as a person?
Travel adds perspective. I think that's more important than anything else. And it gives you the ability to adapt. So living in different places, seeing different people, meeting different people gives you insights on how to conduct yourself, how to build and scale things. I think it brings perspective more than anything else. It gives you a different point of view.
I know that human resource is a key element to consider when building any enterprise. Now, how do you hire?
That's a great question. I think first thing is we look for people who share our values. Even before you're competent, I think your values are important. And we run this through either referrals, we have a testing process. So does this person look like someone who shares the values we have? That's like the fundamental. You need to prove your competence. So it doesn't matter what level you're coming in the organization, we are going to bring you through a process which gives us the best assurance that you're competent, you can do what you say you can do. And for software engineers, you just need to be exceptional at what you do.
How would you describe your leadership style?
Casual. So I'm a bit of a talker, stroke preacher. My leadership style is a little laid back. I'm very driven. And so I like to work with very driven people. Driven by the outcomes. I'm flexible to the approach. As long as it delivers the results.
And it's ethical.
Absolutely. Fits within our values.
Most successful business leaders have failed at some point in time. Have you ever failed as a leader? And if so,
many times.
so tell me about your failures.
Well, survived 3 near bankruptcies at different points in our history. I think the learnings of how to make important transitions when the business needs to transition, I think was one. I'd say coming close to being at a point where the board was saying, look, guys, you either need to shape up or we'll shut down the business, I think was a critical point in redefining what was important for us. And it wasn't just about building cool technology anymore or being clever or doing something interesting. It's about delivering on the promises you've made to your shareholders and making sure that you're creating value. That was like a really important point in
okay. So what would you say has been the biggest letdown you've had in your career so far?
Biggest letdown would probably be that it hasn't gone as fast, as quickly as we'd hoped. I thought it would be $1 billion company by now. And we're not quite there yet. Yeah, it's taken a little longer and it's been a lot harder than I thought it would be. But it's all in all, I think we're in a good place. We've got a fantastic team. I think we've got great support all around. From my wife
and you're building
and family.
Amazing stuff.
And we're doing our best.
This is Under 40 CEOs.
Travel adds perspective to life, Ehi says, but we are yet to know Ehi's favorite travel destination, his favorite meal, and indeed not just what drives him, but what he loves to drive. I ask questions seeking to find out these and more.
So I have a few quick fire questions for you.
Okay.
What do you love to eat?
Oof, rice. I eat a lot of rice.
So what's your fashion style?
I'm a jeans and jacket type of person.
What are your favorite brands to wear?
I like Ralph Lauren. I like Hugo Boss.
So what other CEOs do you currently look up to?
I like the way Larry Page runs his business. I like the way Kofi runs our business. Bishop Dag Hewitt-Mills. I look up to Bishop Oyedepo.
So what's your favorite car to drive?
Aston Martin.
Your favorite travel destination?
Cape Town.
So what's your favorite book of all time?
The Bible.
So what book are you reading right now that's not the Bible?
Good to Great by James Collins.
Lastly, I'd like to know, Ehi, what makes you happy?
And I think makes me happy is solving problems. The more I can solve, the happier I will be.
Thank you for coming on Under 40 CEOs, Ehi.
Pleasure's been mine. It's been fantastic. Thank you very much. Hi, my name is Ehi Binitie. I'm an Under 40 exec, and you can be too.